All right, I know a lot of fans are eagerly awaiting the status update of Christian McCaffrey. As we know, he went down in that game. His knee went straight into the turf, and he was unable to return. We saw the little slide he had to do because it just wasn't feeling good. And so we're kind of waiting for the Monday after the game press conference where Kyle Shanahan will provide the latest updates on injuries. But we've actually got an injury update from an interesting source. His dad, Ed McCaffrey, went on the Up and Adams show with Kay Adams to provide some updates on not only how he was processing the injury, but what he is hearing in regards to the status of Christian McCaffrey and where he is currently at. So take a listen as Ed McCaffrey gives an update on Christian McCaffrey.
What's the injury?
He has a PCL strain, so he'll get an MRI today.
Okay.
And hopefully it's not too serious. Hopefully it's not too serious, and it's something he can bounce back from pretty quickly. But again, he's been through it before. You play long enough in the NFL, you've dealt with an injury, you know the drill. It's not fun. First one up in the morning, last one to leave, getting treatment and rehab, and then not being able to take the field with your teammates, which is what you really love to do. But he will do it. He'll do everything he can to get back on the field as quickly as possible, as healthy as possible, and so that's life of an NFL player.
Yeah, you're an NFL player and you're a dad, and there's this idea that if they fall out of contention, I mean, it's a tight race. They still could very much have their way in the NFC West. But if they fall out of contention and he's healthy, is there anything that would keep him off the field, even if they're not playing for anything? Or do you sort of have to say, like, why don't we sit this one out? Like I'd like to see the team do with Fred Warner and other injured guys to keep everybody okay for then it's like a tough sort of balance. What do you do in that situation? Which way do you lean?
Well, I've always thought that you're a professional football player and you're getting paid to play. So if you're healthy enough to play, you play. Whether you're going to the playoffs or not. Now, I think the general manager and the head coach, the head coach wants to win games. Kyle Shanahan wants to win games. So he wants every player that's healthy on the field at all times. It means a lot. They put a lot of time and effort into this game. And so if you're healthy, you play. General managers may have a different idea. They look long-term. Players and coaches look short-term. They just want to get on the field. They want to coach. They want to play. So if he's ready to go, he will go. And he's going to do everything he can to get ready. And hopefully the team can win a few more games in his absence. But, right now, the tough part's not knowing. I don't even know how serious the injury is or how long it will take to recover. But so that'll be a good problem to have, Kay. We hope we're deciding whether to play or not, or whether or not he can physically play. If so, we will.
Good problem to have. I'm praying for him, so make sure he knows that everybody loves him. Like nobody wants to win more than Christian McCaffrey, and I'm glad we'll get him back in position to do that sort of.
But today's a tough one. I feel like someone reached their hand in my chest and pulled out my heart. Obviously, Christian got hurt yesterday, and it was devastating. So every game is different. Every day after the game is different. And when tragedy strikes, you never really get over it. You never forget about it, but you do get through it. And that's what Christian will do, and that's what Lisa and I will do, and Max and Dylan and Luke. And so he's a tough kid, and I don't know that there's anyone on the planet that spends more time trying to get ready to do what he loves to do, which is play football. He wants so badly to be out there for his teammates and his team and the fans. And so it was tragic. It was a hard night last night and a difficult morning this morning. And any parent on the planet who has a kid knows how it feels when things don't go well for their son. But Christian's tough. He'll bounce back. You feel angry and confused and you grieve a little bit, and then you go back towards getting healthy again and getting back on the saddle one day. So that's where his emphasis is right now. That's one of the reasons we love sports. We see players do great things, have injury, fall down, work really hard to get back up just to do it all over again. So that's what he'll be doing. And, as a dad, I love him and I'm here for him. And so is Lisa and his brothers. Thank goodness he has a good support group, great trainers out there in San Francisco. But it sucks. I mean, there's no way around it. When you're an NFL player and your life revolves around the thing that you love to do, which is play football, and you're not able to do that, it sucks.
He looked so great out there. I was so happy for him. He was ripping off those runs. He looked as healthy as he's looked all season. And then that happens. When you're watching it happen, and then he leaves the field, who does he call first, you or Lisa?
Well, we jumped on a call from the locker room. We were both on the call and talked to him, and just to find out what was going on because we weren't really sure. And it's so tough, right, as a parent because you see your son go down, and then they cut to a commercial, and you're not sure what happens, or they start making jokes about people throwing snowballs and all the fun they had making snow angels, and all you can think of is my son just got walked back to the locker room. He's in the X-ray room. What's going on? And it is tough. It's tough when someone you love goes through that, and life goes on. It reminds you life goes on so fast. Things are going great 1 second because he was feeling burst. He was looking good again. He's running over some people. It looks like it was going to be a great day, and just like that, it can be taken from you. So it was rough. But Lisa and I were both on the call with him, and it just, as a parent, it felt so good to hear his voice. I'm glad we were able to get on the phone to find out what happens, because it's tough when you read something on Twitter or a friend calls you to try to tell you what's going on with your own son. But they might know before you do. So I was glad we got on the call with him, and he's so strong, and he has been through it before. And it's tough. It's a tough break for him, but he's very blessed, and he's very strong and very determined. So he will be back. And thank you to everyone for all the well wishes. We have so many wonderful people that have wished us well and wished him well. So thanks for your thoughts and your prayers. He will do everything he possibly can to get back after it.
This is actually not the worst news ever. Obviously, as he detailed, they still have to get an MRI to determine any kind of like structural damage potentially that might have been missed, but they're calling it a PCL strain. So it's not a tear as of right now. And again, I just want to make that indication abundantly clear. This is from Ed and not Kyle. We don't know the MRI results just yet. But again, what better of a source than the guy who FaceTimed with Christian McCaffrey directly from the locker room after the injury went down? So I'm going to go ahead and say Ed has the most accurate information on this as it stands right now. And we obviously will wait and see what Kyle has to say. But the interesting point, too, is he said if he can play this year, he will play. We heard it could be a season ender in the press conference yesterday, kind of, I think, preparing fans for the worst. But it does sound like there is a potential chance he could return this year. I know fans will probably have a mixed reaction to whether CMC should return this year or not. But again, I think we have to look at this from their perspective. CMC's a ball player. If he can go, sitting isn't an option. He wants to be out on that field. So we'll have to see what happens and get an update on that MRI. But according to Ed McCaffrey, it's a PCL strain and not a initial tear. So early news is optimistic. We'll wait till we get the full story before we really feel optimistic about this. But hey, it's a good start for an unfortunate situation. So you guys let me know what you think about this. And do you think CMC should come back if he can, or is it time to put him on the shelf and save him for next year? You guys let me know what you think in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.